welcoming Mrs. Couch, Alex Ludlam, along with Jason Gerke and Lauren Benarski to the lectern for a special introduction.
How you doing? Hi. Anyway, so I have the privilege of doing Kelly Elsass as one of our students. One word I can look at say that defines her would be determined, and it was a pleasure to have her as a student, and through our FFA accomplishments, you look at what all these kids do, it's quite incredible. I mean, all these officers and all the words they get, and Kelly's no exception to the rule, but I think that to make her determined would be, you know, she didn't make it her first year out there trying to be a state officer, and it was her determination to go in. So I wish that everyone can look at that, you know, Jackson Career Center, look at that determination and get you far, and look at all that she's achieved.
Kelly and Elsass, where should I begin? The first time we met, we were stuck in the same hotel room for state convention. Now, I don't know about you, but the first time I met Kelly, I thought she was pretty weird. She had this small hand, which reminds me of Nemo's tiny fin. She wanted to stay up all night long to talk, and automatically thought that we were best friends. So if that's not weird, I mean, I don't know what is. So, well, the same day that we first met, I woke up in the middle of the night to her punching me in the leg with her Nemo hand. Now, I probably deserved it since I woke up in the middle of the night screaming, but she made quite the first impression. Now, I didn't realize this at the time, but this was the beginning of the greatest friendship I've ever had. There's never a dull moment when Kelly and I are together. One of the most memorable moments was convincing our ag teacher to play foot golf with us at National Convention after competing in the food science competition. I wouldn't have wanted to spend my time in FFA with anyone else. Michigan FFA, it is my pleasure to introduce your 2015-2016 Region 2 State Vice President, Kelly Elsass.
I missed the memo on printing mine out, so here we go. Professional, well put together, and determined. While these phrases can all be applied to my sister, and have been very frequently, I know the truth. My sister is weird. Now, I know what you're thinking. You have bright red hair and she's the weird one. Yeah, you've all been played. This is the girl who swore to name her third-born child, oddly specific, Buckbeak. She may be an incredible professional on stage, but you haven't seen her cry for an hour after watching The Notebook, or witnessed her belting out the lyrics to various songs and musicals. And trust me, you don't want to hear her try and rap the lyrics to the Hamilton soundtrack. When it comes to my sister, few have lived to tell of her, frankly, nuclear meltdowns. They don't happen often, but oh, when they do. They're so impressive that my mom and I have a scale to measure their magnitude. A 3-mile island is dramatic, but not too bad. A Chernobyl, however, is on a whole different level. I'll admit it, the only reason that I'm actually up here right now is to embarrass her in front of all of you. I am the middle child, it's what I do. And then this is supposed to be the part where I say, even though she's goofy, she's incredible, and I'm just so proud of her. But I'm gonna stick to my main point, and I'm here to introduce and extremely, hopefully embarrass my sister and the conductor of the Hot Mess Express, Sammy Ludlam.
Well, how do I follow that? Because apparently I've been played all these years.
Yeah.
Mine is all lies, according to Alex. I do not know that Sam. In fact, the moment that Sam walked into my classroom in her 7th grade year, I saw the fire and determination in her eyes, and I know that girl's gonna go far in this organization. It wasn't until years later that I didn't realize she didn't have that same confidence in herself. But a little push to do junior high public speaking, and she was dead set on accomplishing all she could in this organization. I couldn't be more proud of Sam. She has many leadership qualities that those of us as advisors, we love to see in a student. But one that I most admire of her is her initiative to take action and get things done without being asked to. She's saved my day many a times, as well as our chapter, and I'm sure she's come through for her state officer team a time or two. So, these qualities of leadership that Sam has led her to earn many, many awards, but it's not the awards that I'm most proud of. It's her dedication, her love, and her support for others. Alex and I have a bet if I'm gonna cry. She might be right. It's her love and support for others that makes me the most proud of her. Even when Sam didn't reach her goals, she was there to support her dearest friends and stand by their side and push them to reach their own goals. And for that is a true leader. And one of the things I admire most about Samantha Ludlam. I couldn't be more proud to be her advisor. She wants to be an advisor herself, and I'm so excited to see all that she will accomplish one day with her own group of FFA students. I know she's going to do an amazing job. I know that Michigan FFA, you have inspired her to go even farther. I didn't think it was possible, but I've seen the bright light shine even more in her eyes after being inspired by you this year. So I hope that she did a little bit of the same as she came out and got to meet each and every one of you. Michigan FFA is my distinct honor to introduce to you your Michigan State Vice President, Samantha Ludlam, with her retiring address.
Absolutely love the TV show America's Got Talent. Every summer, when chores are done and dinner's put away, my family and I gather around the TV and watch live performance episodes for hours on end. And while normally every episode is great, there was one performance last summer I know I will never forget. Okay, how many of us actually expected that gentleman to bust into an aria from one of the 20th century's most famous operas? I know, I sure didn't.
One day, I was babysitting my nephew, Evan. We decided to pop a bowl of popcorn and throw on my favorite movie, Finding Nemo. Now, we all know Nemo has a special fin and has trouble swimming. Not even his father thought he could swim out to open sea. Nemo decided to prove his friends and family wrong and go touch the butt of the boat. We automatically assume just because someone looks a certain way that they cannot complete a goal that they set for themselves, or that others set for them.
Every day, we make assumptions about the people we meet, the places we go, the foods we eat, and more. And while not all of these assumptions are bad, for example, if we assume the green cottage cheese in the fridge is unsafe to eat, well, that's a pretty good bet. But it's the small things we let pass us by every day. Maybe what we said to our teacher when we walked in the classroom, or that look we gave to the freshmen in the hallway. Those are the types of things that could use more thought. What if we didn't judge before forming our own opinions? What if we recognized that there was more to all of these things?
High school was the best 4 years of my life. I got to see all my friends and go to my ag class in the afternoon. But high school was a struggle for me, especially history class. In my history class, we had to read our textbooks out loud. And you see, of course, I had a reading problem. So when I went to read the words on the paper, I could probably comprehend them in my head, but when I went to read them out loud, it was not that easy. So instead of listening to all my classmates read their sections out loud, I would prepare myself in my head. And of course, this section happened about World War II. My first word was soldiers. You see, Nemo and I have something in common. When Nemo was asked where he lived, he said the word anemone, but it came out like a anemone. When I said the word soldiers, it came out like solidars. I didn't want to get laughed at by the class like Nemo did.
From the moment we are brought into this world, our minds are constantly seeking out patterns, whether it be the order of the letters in our name or the changes in weather and seasons. When we enter school, our minds find new patterns to familiarize with. Everything from who sits at which table in the lunchroom to which is the quickest way to finish a multiple choice test. In the 5th grade, I had the opportunity to put my pattern seeking and observation skills to the test. You see, 5th grade graduation was quickly approaching. And per tradition at Hopkins Elementary, my classmates and I would be given the assignment to write a positive, brief description about each and every one of our classmates. Some of these descriptions would then be read aloud as we walked across the stage to receive our diplomas. To say the least, I was ecstatic about this assignment. Not only would I get to evaluate others, but I would get to hear what other people thought about me. I remember pouring hours of work into this assignment, ensuring that there was a unique adjective or trait next to each and every one of my classmates' names.
When my teacher called on me, I told her I was not comfortable with reading in front of the whole class. She then questioned me, and I had to tell her my problem. She then sent me down to the office for faking a reading problem. For the next hour, I had to sit at the office thinking about what I did wrong. But instead of letting myself get confused and frustrated on why she set this standard for me without even talking to me about my reading skills, I decided to show her that even though I had a reading problem, I still had great potential.
When the big day finally came, I remember watching several of my classmates smile, even laugh, as they walked across the stage and heard the things read aloud about them. Finally, it was my turn. As I walked across the stage, I remember feeling so excited, but then slightly disappointed when nice, smart, likes to read, and good at math were read aloud. To my ears, I only heard one thing, and that was smart. While yes, it was flattering to be recognized for something, I didn't understand why my classmates didn't have more to say about me. I mean, I loved working with animals, being outdoors, hanging out with my friends. I was the biggest Michigan State fan in the class, for crying out loud. Why couldn't anybody else see that?
She didn't even realize the giant weight she threw on my shoulders. Walking into history class the next day, thinking about anything but history, of course, my teacher decided to call on me for the question of the day. She asked, "Kelly, what college do you plan on attending one day?" Now, did I sound like college material? No way. But I was so tired of everyone setting these standards for me. So I did what nobody ever expected me to. I told her that I was planning on applying to a Big Ten college, the one, the only, Michigan State University. She then spoke to me in the most disappointing tone she could possibly find and said, "Kelly, you need to come up with a more realistic goal." I was so tired of everyone setting these standards for me. I was not going to let that label define me any longer. So I did. I went home that night and I decided to download my college application. I poured hours on end onto this application, having my advisors revise and edit it every chance I got. I went home Friday night and had my big brother put any last-minute touches on it. 8 p.m. Friday night, I finally pressed that submit button. Some weight lifted off my shoulders, but now the weight. Sitting in ag class a few months later, my phone notified me I had an email. So I quickly logged on to the computer and saw the email was from MSU. Nervous but excited, I opened it. And there it was, in bold lettering, the word, "Congratulations! I was accepted to Michigan State University. I was no longer living by the standards that others set for me. I was more."
It took me several months to finally realize why my classmates had said the things they had about me. And then it hit me. They had just been doing what they've been doing since the beginning, seeking out a pattern and making an assumption based off of what they saw. I had enough of something to make me one thing, but I also knew I didn't have to let one thing consume my entire identity. I realized, and I knew, I was more. From that point on in my primary education, I kept the idea of being more in mind. I continued to seek out new opportunities to share all of my passions and not just my love of learning. I also continued to not gloss over the details. If I wanted others to see more in me, I had to see more in others first.
Be more. Too often we find ourselves trapped by those stereotypes set by others. Whether it's blonde, jock, or farmer, we cannot let those standards define us.
The expectations that we must dress a certain way or listen to a certain type of music because of where we come from, those do not define us. If we want to be more, we must think for ourselves, know ourselves, and truly be ourselves.
We can be more by asking for help when we need it. We can be more by wearing that outfit that makes us feel on point, even if it's not from the cover of Vogue.
We can be more by speaking up when we know our voices should be heard. We can be more by sharing our whole selves and embracing others.
It's time for us to aim to be unique.
Be different.
Be better.
Be you.
Michigan FFA, be more.
Elsass. I think I speak for everyone on the team when I say you are the most genuine, caring, loving person on this team. You're constantly picking us up with your positive words and sincere attitude, and you're always so genuine to all of us with all of your kind words. Kelly, thank you for serving with your whole heart this year. Michigan FFA, our Region 2 State Vice President, Miss Kelly Ann Elsass. Sam, this year you have been the mom of our team, keeping us on track and organized. Your maturity, eloquence, and compassion have kept our team balanced. Thank you for sharing with us your passion for sheep, agricultural education, and the English language. Michigan FFA, our state vice president, Samantha Ludlam.